None of us should cocoon himself in thinking that to deal with issues of heaven, then we are excluding money and other things from there. Now look, the humanitarian mandate that God has for us, he says, feed the hungry. My question is, how will you feed the hungry if you yourself, you are hungry? God says, clothe the naked. He says, I was naked and you did not clothe me. How are you going to clothe others when you yourself, you are naked? He says, I was in hospital and you do not visit me. There are some of us that would love to visit people in the hospital. Why we are failing to visit them is because we are broke. There are some of us that may want to keep orphans. Why we can't keep them is because we are broke. There are some of us that may want to do many other good things. So even the good works, feeding people requires you to be economically sound. Dressing the naked, economically sound. Keeping the orphans, economically sound. That is why I need you and I to understand that economics is not only, it is not an earthly subject, it is a heavenly subject. And when we begin to engage in issues of economics and productivity, we are speaking spiritual issues. Now, why am I emphasizing this? There are two things that have happened to Africa before. The introduction of Christianity in Africa in the pre-colonial era came with missionaries that taught an African a religion that taught him not to be productive, but only to learn the trades, to work for the colonial master and enrich him. Those of you who are going to be interested, go and find a letter on the internet written by King Leopold II. King Leopold II was the king of Belgium. Now he writes to the missionaries going to Congo because he owned the whole of Congo. When he writes a letter to them, which was a secret letter only leaked because one of the missionaries forgot the letter in his Bible, and this black man found the letter. In the letter, King Leopold writes and he says, in the Congo where you are going, you are not going to teach them about God. Now he's writing to the missionaries. He says the people in Congo already know about God. They call him Mungu. They call him Zambi. They already know about God. You are not going to teach them about sin. They already know that to steal is a sin. To sleep with another person's wife is a sin. That they already know. We are sending you as industrials to go and open the Congo to trade. He says, when you are going to teach them and preach to them, emphasize scriptures such as blessed are the poor. Emphasize that happy are those who mourn. Emphasize scriptures such as it is hard for a rich man to enter heaven than a camel the eye of the needle. He says teach an African to continue being a slave to you. He should see you as a master. He says no matter how many times you visit an African and he gives you a chicken every day you visit him, the day he visits you, don't give him a seat. Let him sit on the ground. He says in their schools, teach them how to read, but don't teach them how to think. And that is why the education we have gotten as Africans teaches us how to memorize and read things, but not thinking.